Hey everyone, you're watching Tamit Saleh's Tennis Forum, and I am back finally. It's felt like forever. I've had such a busy couple of weeks lately. I hope you guys enjoyed your holidays, and well, happy New Year to you guys as well. I hope 2020 lives up to your expectations. Let's hope that the tennis in this new decade, new year, really kicks on now. This is pretty much the last decade of the big three. Will it be the last year of big three dominance? So I think we're all interested to see how 2020 plays out for the big three. If there's any massive declines, or if there's one of the next gen players finally getting their hands on a slam. But yeah, as I said, it is good to be back. I've had a couple of weeks break, but I'm back now, weekly videos, and especially with the first Grand Slam of the year, the Australian Open, less than 1 month away now. I can't wait to get back into the whole tennis hype. Over the next couple of weeks, we will be focusing on 2020 and especially the Australian Open as the draws come out, my predictions. I might get some of you guys on a Skype call or something and we can discuss. So yeah, this is the place to be for the Australian Open and beyond. In this video, I just wanted to, just say hi, welcome back, I'm still here, and give a platform for you guys to discuss a few things. As you know, the ATP Cup begins. Well, it begins tomorrow, but by the time I release this video, it might have already begun. I'm not going to talk too much into it because I myself need to see how it plays out. This is the first edition of the ATP Cup, remember. However, if you do want to watch my video on the draw, which I made as it came out a couple of months ago, I'll be putting a link up here somewhere and also in the description below. Can't wait for that, but one topic I want to discuss with you guys is which was a better decade, the Roger Federer decade or the Novak Djokovic decade in terms of their respective dominance. So without further ado, let's roll the intro. So about a couple of weeks ago, I asked you the question, who had a more dominant decade? Was it Roger Federer between 2000 and 2009, or was it Novak Djokovic between 2010 to 2019? The poll I released, it got over 400 votes, 418 to be exact, and it was actually quite a one-sided answer, surprisingly, to be honest, as they were very similar, their respective decades. Roger Federer with 35% of your votes and Novak Djokovic with 65%, so almost a ratio of 2 to 1 there. Novak Djokovic, according to you guys at least, clearly had the better decade. However, the funny thing is when you look through the comment section, it does seem to be a lot more pro Federer. There was 50 comments on that, so yeah, a lot more pro Federer, but then it's not relating to what the poll says. I've got a few stats for you guys about both decades. So in 2000, and to be honest with you, it is quite interesting how similar each player has had the decades, which also makes me a bit surprised with the way the poll result went. So in the 2000s, we'll start with weeks at number 1. Roger Federer, 264 weeks he spent in that decade as well, number 1. Compared that to the 2010s for Djokovic. So I'll just compare them, but you just know that Roger Federer's ones are from 2000 and Djokovic from 2010 and beyond. So yeah, Roger Federer 264 weeks, Novak Djokovic 275 weeks. So very close, only 11 weeks in it in terms of who spent the longest at world number 1, but Novak Djokovic slightly edges that one. For consecutive weeks at number 1, Roger Federer, of course, he holds the record by a huge amount anyway. He, of course, takes that one. He spent 237 of those weeks at world number 1 consecutively. Novak Djokovic's longest running stint at world number 1 was 122 consecutive weeks. Still a fantastic achievement, but Roger Federer takes that one. In terms of the slams, nothing to split the pair. Both won 15 slams in their respective decades. World Tour Finals, nothing to split yet again. 4 World Tour Finals for Roger Federer, 4 World Tour Finals for Novak Djokovic in their decades. In terms of year-end number 1s, once again, nothing to split. 5 year-end number 1s for Roger Federer and 5 year-end number 1s for Novak Djokovic. The only big difference here in terms of titles won at least is the Masters 1000s. Federer won 16 Masters 1000 between 2000 and 2009, whereas Novak Djokovic won 29 Masters 1000. So That's one thing that clearly Novak has excelled in compared to Roger Federer. That's just, the big achievements between the two. The jury will always be out. Personally, it is, look, the same amount of slams, the same amount of World Tour finals, the same amount of weeks at almost weeks at number one, the same amount of year-end number one. So very, very evenly matched this. So personally, I can't really pick between the two. Arguments for both is that Roger Federer, for instance, he only had 6 years or 7 years kind of to do it between 2003 to 2009. That was his dominant era. Novak Djokovic, it was more spread out. So from 2011 to 2019. So technically 2 extra years to achieve what he has. But then, that's we're not taking that into account. It's simply by decade. So that's just by pure coincidence. And then an argument for Novak Djokovic would be that, so some say he had the tougher field. Personally, I do think Djokovic's era was against tougher opponents like Federer, even though he may have been aging a little, Rafa Nadal, Andy Murray, Stan Wawrinka, Juan Martín del Potro. So yeah, some really good quality of tennis there. But I really don't like this whole Federer weak era theory. You can only beat what's in front of you, and maybe he was so good that he just made everyone else look worse than they were. I know people bring up players like Baghdatis and Gonzalez and Andy Roddick as sort of like whipping boys for Roger, but I mean, I'm not going to get too involved with that. It is a bit controversial. But yeah, I'm kind of on the fence with this one. Sorry to disappoint, but I'm sure you guys will have your own opinions. The poll I released, so what you can do, you can comment on it. However, you can't really reply to those comments. So use this as your forum. Use this as your comment section to say who you think had the better era. And I'm sure discussions will start. And I can't wait to read some of them as well. Yeah, just that's it really. A nice quick short video just to say hello to you guys. I will be more active from now on. I will try to respond to most, if not all of your comments. I've just been so busy lately, so do forgive me for that one. But I cannot wait for 2020. It's already, we've got the 4 slams, of course. We've got the Olympics, and it's going to be a massive Olympics because potentially this is the last chance for, well, definitely for Roger, I'd say, and Novak as well, probably, to get that singles gold medal. Can Andy Murray come back and defend his gold medal again, win it for the 3rd time? We're going to find out. I feel this year is going to be so important now in terms of the next gen and the big 3. This is probably the closest next gen have ever got to winning a slam or to breaking this monopoly of the big 3. So I cannot wait to see how it turns out. Like I've said, you'll be getting weekly videos. You'll be getting the draw to the Australian Open as it comes out. You'll be getting predictions. I might get some of you guys on the show as well. And throughout the Australian Open coverage and analysis. So yeah, place to be. I'm happy to be back, and I hope you guys are happy to have me back as well. I'll wrap you up there, not keeping it too long. I hope you guys had a good holiday, like I've said, and hope you all the best for 2020. If you haven't already, then please do subscribe for future tennis videos, and thank you very much for watching this one.